I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. We all know nothing meaningful is effortless. That's for me one of the most successful things that she has achieved. Happy New Year, by the way. I never understand when someone wants to create a problem when the problem doesn't exist. I was not planning to film today. I got sick on the 27th of December and I've been sick since then, so the new year found me sick. Happy New Year, by the way. I'm still easing back into my rhythm. I haven't fully recovered yet, but I was getting ready to go out for the first time in 2026 and found myself thinking. The last video I did was about healthy habits and getting the best out of yourself, and maybe this is the right moment to talk about this, exactly because it's not the perfect moment. Sometimes when I'm in that headspace, one thought leads to another, and since I was sick, I was just watching a lot of movies and TV. I watched the documentary, the Taylor Swift documentary, and I decided to do a video about that because I think that you can learn a lot about business from Taylor Swift. In the meantime, I need to get ready to leave, but I wanted to tell you my thoughts about Taylor Swift, because whether you like her or not, you have to admit she is a great artist and a great businesswoman. Now, I want to say something very clearly. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan in the sense of following an artist wherever they go and blindly agreeing with everything they do. I don't have this relationship with pop culture. But Taylor Swift is one of the very few women who genuinely inspire me, not only through their music, but the way they handle things and the way they do business. She has intentionally built her life, her boundaries, her whole career by what she thinks is the right way. And to me, she feels self-illuminated, which is something that I truly admire to people when they build their own path and they don't wait for permission. She knows when to speak, and she also knows when silence is better. This kind of self-trust is rare. I recently watched her 2025 documentary, and again, I didn't watch it as a fan. I watched it as a woman who is inspired by Taylor Swift. And I also watched it as someone who has built a brand. And while watching it, I was thinking that these are lessons that I have learned too. But this is a different setting. But the lessons are the same. Now, lesson one, what feels effortless is built slowly in the background. One thing that stayed with me was how effortless everything looked. We all know nothing meaningful is effortless. It reminded me something I deeply believe, that confidence is not something you're born with, and it's something you practically have to work on. You have to practice quietly and consistently when no one is watching. Now, while I wait for my skin to absorb the moisturizer, the second lesson I've learned from Taylor Swift is that rest is non-negotiable. Something which is very relevant to me right now because I'm sick. But sometimes we forget to rest, sometimes we prefer to do other things than sleep, but in reality, Taylor Swift reminded me that sleep and rest are not negotiable. Watching how Taylor Swift protects her energy and health by taking the time to rest and having rest into his schedule is very inspiring, especially after the shows, watching her take her boots off, getting into the car and getting to the hotel and pampering herself. That reminded me that our health and our rest should always be part of our schedule. I remember to put meetings, social media content, a lot of things in my schedule, but I never put rest into my schedule. And from now on, when I have this big event or when I have a really big job to do, I need to take a day off, to take some hours off. I don't know what to do, but I need to put rest into my schedule and make it part of my schedule. Now, I don't know if you would agree with me, but lesson number 3 is fair pricing is equal to respect. Fair pricing doesn't mean cheap. If something isn't cheap to make or it takes so much time to do, it's not possible to be cheap and to be fair. That doesn't mean maximizing profit either. It means respect to sell in fair pricing. Respect for the people buying, respect for the people that have created this product, and respect for the product itself. At Arianotte, margins are lower. We don't have these huge profit margins, which is okay. I chose that. The price reflects to the materials, reflects to the craftsmanship. They are made in Greece, reflects to the people who are paid properly. We only buy materials from members of the Responsible Jewelry Council. We only build with craftsmen who are family businesses, so they get paid what they ask for. And that's the idea behind fair pricing. Moving on to the makeup. Lesson number 4, very important. Sharing success. One thing that really moved me is how success was shared. For example, Sabrina Carpenter, she is a new artist. She's a very young artist. She has achieved so much, but the way Taylor Swift supports new artists or generally other artists is something very inspiring. Sometimes we believe that by holding everyone else down, we get on the higher level. But Taylor Swift does the opposite. She wants other artists to be successful. She wants people to support other artists. And that's, for me, one of the most successful things that she has achieved. Everyone is significant to the chain of success. There are no invisible people. Being genuinely happy about someone else's success will make you more successful. I remember in one of the first marketing lessons, our professor gave an example about hotels. When hotels collaborate to create the best possible experience for the guests, then the local market gets higher and more successful and more people come around, and in general everyone is profitable. But when someone tries to tear their competition down, then everyone loses at the end, because you get bad reviews, you get bad feedback, people stop coming around in your area. So who loses? Everyone. Watching Taylor Swift be happy about other artists and sharing their success with her audience shows how talented, how successful, and how open-minded she is. Lesson number 5, build your own lane. If no one wants to believe you, no problem. If you believe yourself and you have all the right skills, then do your thing. That's what I believe Taylor Swift did. And honestly, it worked for her. Is the #1 artist right now in the world, if I'm not mistaken. Arianotte was not built according to what was common or what was expected, especially not in Greece, because ethical fashion in Greece is not fully understood yet, and Even though we have exceptional artists, many people don't know what ethical fashion truly means. Instead of changing my values, I focused on the right audience, which is not in Greece. It might seem funny to have a business in Greece, but not promoting your products in Greece. But if this is not my audience, then this is not my audience. Sometimes it will be, but this is not my audience right now. Next lesson, I don't remember the number. Design experiences where your audience will feel seen. One thing I found fascinating about the Eras tour, it was an amazing tour. Every section of the stadium had moments that felt unique. And that reminded me that people don't just want products. They want to feel seen. They want to feel appreciated. Because honestly, if someone chooses your brand instead of someone else's brand, then you should make them feel special because they did something special. They chose you over 1 million other brands. And this just, you need to show your appreciation in very small ways. It doesn't have to be something very big. For example, Taylor Swift let the audience feel seen by choosing to do some things in one angle and some other things in different angle. So everyone was special. People chose you over someone else because they found something special. That choice should matter. Another thing that I truly admire, and this is the next lesson, I don't remember the name, is celebrating and letting other people shine. They don't outshine you. When you want the best, then you need to be prepared to let them shine. Why have the best in your team when you just want to be the only star on the stage? Taylor Swift has learned to share, and that's something that I truly admire. I never understood the fear around collaboration. If you want to have the best in your team, then you need to be prepared to give them space. And the only person who will not feel outshined is you, because you made the choice to have the best in your team. And that I see more and more every day, thankfully, is that in many industries, companies are starting to see the value of collaboration and replace competition with collaboration. What's better? Strong leaders don't need to be the brightest light in every room. They create rooms with many people that shine. And seeing Taylor Swift, how she lets her dancers and her choreographers and everyone to show their strength, that makes the Eras tour even more better. Honestly, seeing how this woman handles the people she works with, she is a born leader. I've learned that she gave some really great tips to her crew. This shows a lot about her, but sometimes money don't really matter. Of course they matter, they keep us going, but when you're an artist, you need to show your talent. And Taylor Swift doesn't only give money to these people, she also gives them the space to show their talent, to show their worth. I see a lot of artists not wanting their dancers to outshine them. How can they outshine you? On the contrary, they will give the audience the full picture. They will make everything look better. They will complete you. They will not outshine you. What's better than that? And that's why I never understand when someone wants to create a problem when the problem doesn't exist. They like to create a problem so they can solve it and so everyone else can say how good they are. Why create something, a problem, when it doesn't exist? Just to find the solution and hear the bravo? So this was the video, right on time. The only thing that I'm missing is to put some mascara. This is actually a new mascara. I've used it once and I really like it. Let's see. I have already put my contacts on, because the other day I put my contacts on after the makeup. Big mistake. I destroyed my makeup, and it was a really nice makeup, but we learn from our mistakes, even though they are so little. And a tiny bit of shimmer. And we're ready. I'll have the list of all the products that I used, because we didn't talk about products, we talked about Taylor Swift. So I have the list down below in the description box. What I'm gonna wear right now is the Underdog and the Mazis ring. And this was the video for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe here on our YouTube channel. And in the description box, I will have the social media of Arianotte to check her out. Bye!